Today, Apple is one of the most influential tech corporations in the world and ranks at the top in market capitalization, valued in the trillions of dollars. But few know what secrets lie behind this success. 5 secrets that Apple has deliberately hidden from its users. Secret 1. The secret team Project Purple iPhone before its announcement. The development of the first iPhone was carried out in deep secrecy under the code name Project Purple. The team of engineers worked in an isolated building on Apple's campus. The project began in 2004. Only team members had access to the building. Even other Apple employees didn't know what was going on inside. The walls were covered with black fabric to hide screens and devices. Some employees weren't allowed to tell even their families what they were working on. Devices and blueprints were hidden in safes or under desks during any outsider visit. Work was almost around the clock, with many employees sleeping in the office on inflatable mattresses. The team was led by Johnny Ive, Apple's chief designer, and Scott Forstall. It included the best engineers in sensors, displays, interface design, and chip architecture. Steve Jobs inspired the team, demanding perfection. After 2.5 years of secret work, in January 2007, Jobs introduced the first iPhone. Secret 2. Apple and the cult of packaging. When the box matters more than it seems. At Apple's headquarters in Cupertino, California, there is a dedicated team of designers who work exclusively on packaging. They don't develop devices, only the boxes that contain them. But even that sounds too simple. In reality, they craft an emotional script for opening the box. This is part of the company's core philosophy, the unboxing experience. What's the idea? Apple believes that the moment a person opens the box for the first time should be exciting, emotional, and memorable, almost ritualistic. That's why months of testing are spent ensuring that the box opens at just the right speed. A specific vacuum sound is produced when opening. The surface feels smooth but not slippery. The inside layout is intuitive, where the cable and manuals are placed. Even the sound of peeling the screen protector or the rustle of documents is tested. Aesthetics matter. Every millimeter of the box, every angle, the way the adapter or headphones are laid out, all are carefully designed to create a sense of luxury and pleasure. A direct quote from the Wall Street Journal: Apple has a packaging room where designers spend hours a day opening hundreds of box prototypes to find the one that sounds and feels just right. Why does this work? Psychologists have long proven that the first tactile impression enhances brand perception. Apple turns the act of opening the box into a key part of its marketing and magic. Before the device is even turned on, the user is already in love with it. Secret 3. Room 10. The ultra-secret lab where Apple's future was born. At Apple's headquarters in Cupertino, California, there was a place that became the stuff of legend, even among Apple employees. It was known as Room 10. What is this place? Room 10 was an experimental lab created to test Apple's most innovative and risky ideas. Only a select few had access: hand-picked engineers, designers, and executives. Even many top-level managers had no idea what happened behind the doors of Room 10. Steve Jobs personally oversaw the work in this room. He believed that only in isolation from the rest of the company could the products of the future be created. He wanted the team to experiment freely, without fear of failure or corporate limitations. What happened in Room 10? New interfaces were being developed, ideas that might have seemed insane at the time. Many of these ideas were never released, but they helped shape Apple's long-term vision. Rumor has it that the very first prototype of the iPad appeared in Room 10, years before the iPhone was introduced to the market. Why is Room 10 so important? It's a symbol of Apple's approach to innovation. Bold ideas are born in isolation, in silence, in secrecy, and only later revolutionize the world. Room 10 is the heart of Apple's philosophy: dare, explore, perfect in secret, and amaze the world when the time is right. Secret 4. Apple encrypts IMEI and serial numbers in leaked prototypes to hide the truth. Apple is known for its obsessive control over leaks, especially when it comes to unreleased devices. One of the most infamous cases was the lost iPhone 4 prototype, which was left in a bar in 2010. It became one of the biggest scandals in the company's history. But few people know that Apple went even further to prevent future leaks. What does Apple do with prototypes? Apple uses engineering versions of devices strictly for internal testing. These prototypes may resemble future products on the outside, but include special security measures, fake IMEI, and serial numbers. Every mobile device has a unique IMEI, International Mobile Equipment Identity, and serial number, which can be used to trace its origin, owner, or warranty status. Apple replaces these identifiers in prototypes so that the origin of the device can't be traced through official databases. A leak won't harm the current supply chain. Journalists and bloggers can't verify authenticity using third-party services. Remote lockdown. If a prototype does leak, is lost, stolen, or accidentally lands in the hands of the press, Apple can remotely disable it using internal MDM, mobile device management systems, cut off its access to cellular networks, protect its technologies from reverse engineering. Why does it matter? Apple isn't just protecting its intellectual property, it's protecting the magic of the reveal. It matters to Apple that users see the product for the first time during the official keynote, not in a blurry leak from a Chinese forum. Competitors don't get a chance to copy ideas or start clone production before the official launch. This is yet another part of Apple's paranoid but effective approach to secrecy, control, and marketing. Secret 5. Siri was spying on users, accidentally or not. This incident became one of Apple's biggest recent scandals and significantly shook public trust in voice assistants. What happened? In 2019, The Guardian published an investigation based on testimonies from former Apple contractors hired to help improve the accuracy of Siri. These contractors listened to real recordings made by Siri to evaluate how well the assistant understood commands and where it failed. But the problem was the recordings themselves. What exactly was being listened to? According to insiders, the system captured private and intimate conversations, including bedroom scenes. Sometimes medical consultations, business calls, personal data, and even illegal activities were recorded. Siri could be accidentally triggered without the "Hey Siri" prompt if it misheard a similar phrase. Many contractors said they didn't know whose recordings they were hearing, but felt uncomfortable, especially with sensitive or intimate audio. Why did it cause a scandal? Apple did not inform users that someone might be listening to their recordings. The recordings were not fully anonymized. Sometimes they included location data or device identifiers. Users had no option to opt out of this data collection. After a wave of criticism, Apple temporarily suspended Siri's audio review program. What changed after the scandal? Since fall 2019, Apple updated iOS. Users can now opt out of Siri data collection for improvement purposes. By default, audio recordings are no longer submitted for analysis. Apple promised that only voluntary recordings will be used and only in anonymized form. All third-party contractors were either dismissed or reassigned to other projects. This incident was a powerful reminder that even the most ethical tech giants have a dark side, and that voice assistants may be listening to far more than you think. And that's just 5 secrets of this massive tech giant revealed in this video. Subscribe. You'll be surprised how many more are hidden.